How's it going, everybody? I hope your day is serving you well. Earlier today, I was in a session with a guy I've been seeing for many years now. During the course of our work, he shared a poem with me, and I feel called to share that with you all because it seems to fall in line with some conversations that I've been having lately with people in our circle. The poem is called Wild Geese, and it's by Mary Oliver. You do not have to be good. You do not have to walk on your knees for 100 miles through the desert, repenting. You only have to let the soft animal of your body love what it loves. Tell me about despair, yours, and I will tell you mine. Meanwhile, the world goes on. Meanwhile, the sun and the clear pebbles of the rain are moving across the landscapes, over the prairies and the deep trees, the mountains and the rivers. Meanwhile, the wild geese, high in the clean blue air, are heading home again. Whoever you are, no matter how lonely, the world offers itself to your imagination, calls to you like the wild geese, harsh and exciting, over and over announcing your place in the family of things. As he shared the poem, the line that really seemed to jump out at me was, "You do not have to be good." One of the great blessings of my own healing work has been that I have found myself in the presence of teachers who consciously or unconsciously have never been afraid to show their humanity. Some of it has been extremely noble, and some of it hasn't. But the wonderful thing about that is that I have learned lessons along the way that I could not have learned any other way. I have gotten to see people being completely human in my presence. And that has opened up space and allowed me to do the same. A few years ago, when I was just starting out, I had a phone call from a woman who wanted to talk about the possibility of our working together. So as we talked, I mentioned to her that no one is exempt from doing their work, and that I too was working with someone to do my own healing work. And she stopped me. And she said, "Oh, you're still seeing someone to do your healing work?" And I said, "Yeah." And she said, "All right, well, I don't think I'm going to see you then." And I said, "Why is that?" And she said, "Well, I was hoping to work with someone who was completely finished with their work." And I couldn't help myself. I burst out laughing. And I said, you got to do whatever you feel is right. If I'm not the right person, I get it. God bless you. You got to go where you feel comfortable. And I told her, "Just do me one quick favor, though." And she said, "What's that?" And I said, "Well, when you finally find this person, the one that's completely healed and totally done with their work, give me a call back and give me their phone number, because I'd like to start working with them and find out how they did it." Well, that's been years, and she still hasn't called me back. And to be honest, I don't think she's ever going to. That's the thing about spiritual and emotional recovery work. It's never finished. There's always one more rock to turn over. There's always more room for healing and another opportunity for growth. One of the things that I do in my spare time is carve spoons and other utensils out of recovered and rescued wood. And one of the things that I've learned after splitting many cords of wood is that the tree that stops growing is ready for the axe. When someone comes to work with me, one of the things I make them aware of is my obligation to them. And that obligation is I will go as deeply into the work with them as they will for themselves. Part of the requirement of that on my part is that I do whatever is humanly possible to create a space in which they feel safe enough to do their work. No matter what that means, no matter what that looks like. Their obligation, on the other hand, is to simply show up and do their work. It doesn't have to be pretty or even palatable. It just needs to be as honest as it can be. And above all, it needs to be human. Until next time.